Hey everybody, welcome to Hex Guild. What's up, Facing Reality? What's up, Hex on Air? I am inside the space right now. Life is so interesting. We're just biological beings. I've been thinking about all sorts of stuff. What have you guys been thinking about? In time for the intro, Facing Reality, thank you. No matter what kind of day cycle I get on, I always get back on a different one. The one I just came off of, I swear the moon controls my life. How are we doing on this? Maybe that's a little bit better. So somebody want to track down Finbear for me? Does anybody want to track down something to talk about? HSI stakes, I'm telling you down here, claim your portion of the treasury. I'll probably finalize that very, very soon. I thought about finalizing it already, but I think it's about damn time. That means that anybody who hasn't already gotten their stuff, their address to me, that means that you will be left behind. And hey, that's fine. Maybe that was, I got to get better audio. Maybe that was your plan. Maybe you were thinking that you want to have nothing to do with subpoenas or chasing it back to you having a responsibility of some sort. That's cool. Totally cool. What I'm doing is I divided up $3,000 worth of hex into $100 increments. And I forgot what price hex was at that time. I'm going to change the mic again. Hex on Air, there are 4 different settings on how this Yeti Blue microphone picks up the audio, and so I'm just playing around with them. Maybe it was just fine, and I was being silly with my extra earpiece. So, like I said, if somebody wants to hunt down Finbear, I wouldn't be opposed. Finbear and I, or I asked Finbear, hey, would it fit your schedule just fine if we pushed it back one day? So maybe on Wednesdays we start doing the Hex Guild. Again, guys, a joint. This is a place to come together. If it is that we don't have anything to talk about, we often can cut it short. But we're here for an hour. If it is that anybody in the group wants to come and spill what it is that they're up to, I said come and spill in the same sentence. My bad. And sip. So HSI stakes, I'm going to finalize that really soon. um, a lot of people are dreaming about what Hexaco could be. I have quite a few ideas. I'm wanting to not talk about what's on my mind, which is this these 4 college age students that were slain. There were 4 of them over at Idaho University, and just somehow somebody snuck into their place, killed them like chickens in a coop without a sound, and then left the premises. And I don't really know like why this affects me, why it is that like I'm allowing the mainstream media to get a hold of me with my emotions, because I'm anticipating what is going to be released to the public. What information are they going to tell people? They need to hurry up and find the perpetrator. Everybody leaves for Thanksgiving break here soon, and that changes the whole crime scene because it's a university town. The only time that I had anybody trying to break into my truck when I was in college was during Thanksgiving break. I understand. Oh, I think during Christmas break, it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving break, I got my dormitory broken into. So I take that back, like my truck and my dorm, both during Thanksgiving break. But that's on campus stuff. And then there's a bit of like holistic thinking when I'm thinking about these two 20-year-olds and these two 21-year-olds who had this happen to them. And then I'm constantly, like I'm not in fear for my life, but I would think to protect others. So it's and then I went as far as to look at the Zillow.com images of the last time the house was for rent or for sale or remodeled, and it's just a weird structure. It's kind of on house or on campus dormitory living, but it was 2 people per floor for 3 floors. And so 2 rooms and a bathroom, 2 rooms and a bathroom. And supposedly the person who put up the biggest fight was the girlfriend. There was a guy and a girl supposedly in bed in a room together, and supposedly that girl put up the biggest fight. And I guess I'm proud of her. Like I don't know. I don't know why this is sinking in so much. And then as little commercials on YouTube, I see the next horror movie, which is like a Black Mirror, but now it's in theaters, and there's like two of them or three of them. And so last week or 2 weeks ago, I remember seeing one where it's like it's a house, a dinner table that you can't escape from, and you're on the menu. And then there were multiple others, and it was almost like a series was going to start. So either they wanted to get you on HBO or they wanted to get you on Netflix. But it reminds me of walking into my library, my local library over here, and I was searching for back in 2010 or so. I wanted to see how much they were trying to manipulate our perception of weather. And so I wanted to go look for cloud books. Hey, Finbar, I'm bringing you on. Looking sharp, man.
And I plugged my wife my internet in, so I'm going by wire. How do you like the
Okay,
beard?
cool. I like it.
Yeah, that didn't
Looking
come with
sharp.
the internet. That was a personal bad decision.
I almost have your hair too, with
Yeah,
my grown out mohawk. Almost.
let me see if I can take the chat from here.
So over here at my local library, back in like 2010 or so, I went looking for cloud books because clouds were like an interesting subject in second grade when we were learning them. For me, I loved the cumulonimbus clouds. So like these big formations, and then they would turn into these thunderheads. And my birthday's during the summer. I have an attachment to summer. I love thunder clouds rolling in the summer. And sometimes they come with tornadoes, but it never affects me. And so I was over here at the library looking for those, and I realized that there was a consistency in these books. None of them were um, none of them were published after 2003. They were all new with new cloud definitions,
New
the
pictures.
formations labeled.
Yeah,
So they're manipulating our mind, our perception.
there's a lot of
Um,
books that are completely missing from the libraries, and if you look at the stuff that's available in bookstores, is absolute crap. Like you can't find anything. Like you can't find a classic in a bookstore. All you find is like pulp crap.
yeah. And I also went down the aisle of the DVDs that they had available. And over there in the teen section, they had three copies of Saw. I think it was Saw 3 as well. I'm not sure.
What's
But
all?
Saw's a movie where it's like Chainsaw Massacre, where
Oh
they
yeah,
just
okay,
like hang the bodies everywhere, and so you just
yeah.
like walk into body parts hanging from the
So
ceilings
they
all over the place with you and your friends, right?
so you
And then
can
it's a
get it
horror
from the
house.
you can get it from the library.
Not only that, but three copies of the same thing. So they
Well,
had
that's super awesome.
I
Did
effing hated
how,
it.
how much gay stuff did they have?
That's a I should go look. That was a while back. I should
Yeah,
I should go
go and
look
check
through
out
all of their
the
stuff.
tranny story.
I don't really know like what what sort of transitional films they're gonna have. Like somebody finds their genitals or something. So I had one more thing to say on that subject, where it's like the library has because my mother and my
I gotta
grandfather.
plug myself in. Go on.
Cool. Okay. My mother and my grandfather were city council members in this town. This is Georgetown, Texas. I'm sitting a block from the county courthouse, um, which is the ruling for the entire county. What's up, Moon Boys? What's up, Turin? So, because I guess I have people in my family that are influential, then I'm able to step into back into the town in 2012 after my college and my corporate stuff over in Houston. I was able to step back in here and um, plug straight in to who it was that was doing things and influential and holding positions. And so one of the guys that was holding the position of the lead guy over at the library, um, at one point I got an email requesting like what library books they look into, because they had just gotten some money and they were just about to purchase some library books. So I got them to purchase two different permaculture books, and one of those permaculture books went missing, and I think it was Sepp Holster's Permaculture, with the green cover in the front, and then Sepp's right in the middle, like holding a huge radish or something like that, and there's this bit of a
Yeah,
slope. But
yeah. I'm
that
not sure I've seen the cover, but
that
I
thing
know
went
Sepp
missing.
Holzer. Yeah,
That thing was in the library, and then was it went missing within the library system. Pretty sad.
yeah.
Keep it.
Somebody probably stole it.
About 2 weeks after it was first delivered, like nobody ever checked it out, sadly.
Yeah,
So there was this opportunity for me to say like books that I recommend that the library diversify into, and Sepp Holzer's Permaculture was bought and then lost immediately. It was on the shelf at one point,
yeah. They're
so
probably stolen.
upsetting. It is a pretty expensive book, but the
But
Bill
hey, like
Mollison's
the libraries don't have money. That's
right.
why they're asking people what to buy because
It's
they don't know fuck all.
yeah.
And if they already have like shelves full of 50 Shades of Grey, they need to talk to people about what else, like other obscure shit we could get here. Because we have all this money and we don't know shit. But they
Yeah.
got plenty of money. And if they wouldn't spend it this year, they would be missing that money from the next year's budget because they managed to go on the budget, so they're not gonna get the same money next year. That's how it's designed to work. In particular, the end of the fiscal year is when government agencies go on shopping sprees to spend every last penny they have.
So over on the Paul Wheaton front, a few weeks ago, I had one of the boots leave Paul Wheaton's after he had acquired 2 years of working on the property, to where then he
Yeah,
got an acre for life on the property. But instead of establishing himself on that, he needed to like break like a bird out of a cage. And one of the other boots was with him, a female that he was dating. And so they went over to Arkansas, and then they went down to Houston area where another one of the boots was, Josiah, one of my favorite boots. Him and Jen are down in Jen's hometown, taking over their cattle operation, which is outside of Houston, on my side of Houston. And then he came up to my area and stayed at my place for a night, and I showed him around my town and everything. Um, and then he went back up like through like San Diego. Then up to Seattle. So I hope he's doing fine. But also on the Paul Wheaton front, I've had a lot of sales lately with my rocket ovens. And the reason why
Nice.
is because Paul had done a video about the rocket ovens, and then he also packaged it with another set of my plans. So I've got two set of plans, and then Paul either has a movie and something or just the movie, but he packaged those things together, and I've been getting a lot of sales from that. And I don't know if it's because of Thanksgiving coming up or what, but before, I have had it to where November is a really slow time period, or like it's really slow trying to sell things on the digital market. But this year it's really been bumping. So like, for those people that don't know, there's a digital market on Permies.com, and you can create like PDFs that are instructional, or create videos and have it to where like only people who pay a certain amount over PayPal are able to access this stuff with a user account on Permies. And it's a way that I've increased my income by um, maybe like 2,000 per year. And so it's just a little bit above $100 per month that I can gain out of this. And
Yeah, and it's passive. You
and
don't
it's
have to do
passive.
any. Yeah, you don't have to do anything extra.
So when it is that I set up something on the digital market, it's a forum. And so, like, if people have specific questions, I'll be notified in my email. But other than that, they're just purchasing this thing. And then also, Paul, this is his main source of income, I think, the digital market and Permies. So he has curated all of these different products from people who are like myself, willing to go and package a product and put it up there. And so he will be your best affiliate salesman. And I really don't mind because it's passive and it's digital. Like it what what do we know about cryptocurrency? The copies are free. So it's free to me.
Yeah.
And then how is it that I could stop people from downloading that and passing it to the next person? An NFT. But I haven't figured that out yet. You know what I mean? We got somebody joined us. Who is it? Oh,
I don't know.
proof
I
of
can't.
beard only.
Nice. Hello, man. Is he
Hello,
audio only? Good
Hello.
day. Good day, sir. Or evening.
I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself on screen.
No, we
Uh,
didn't. We only let the audio in. The
Okay.
beard is too. The beard is too much.
it's what
Yeah,
StreamYard does or
that's okay.
something. I
No,
was
it's
I've
thinking.
never
it
seen that.
said
Normally, just puts
somebody
my
joined
avatar up there.
audio
No?
only.
Audio only one then. Okay, cool.
It doesn't even show your name. It's weird. I think it's
I'll
if
just be the
you
voice.
yeah if you sign in and you don't allow the camera, you can't even like click on the stop cam button. It just doesn't show anything. So there's no
I don't know, man.
avatar visible. But that's
This
fine.
reminds me that twice per live stream, I typically fall out. So if I fall out, you guys go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
can
right
start
back.
arm wrestling. And
So
Markable can sing a bit.
I
Just
can sing very well.
yeah,
I just need a golden mic.
yeah. We're oh,
So we
we're gonna
we
hear
would need
Markable.
Mirage.
We're gonna hear Markable do Never Gonna Give You Up.
Markable, that comment that I made was saying that, like, hey, if you make a short video of what it is that you got going on that property, or how you're living, or whatever, just a short clip, I could play it during this sort of meeting instead of,
Oh,
because you said that you have limited connection, right?
what do you mean? Wait,
I,
what
I
are we
was
talking
thinking
about?
Like
I was thinking you
your
were out in the bush and you had limited
Yeah.
connection.
yeah, that's been the excuse this far.
Yeah.
Are you saying you have good internet or don't you?
What to show the place? You mean?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
What?
or
just
show
to give
some
us a
videos
point.
or
Yeah.
pictures or something.
Oh yeah, sometimes I have internet good enough. So
So what's the idea with the landowner? Is it a couple?
Yes, it's a family,
Are,
and
are they friends of yours from before, or did you meet them like when you went there?
yeah, dude. So when I was going, I was over the past year. I've just been going up and down to Portugal and back, and just visiting some places. And I found some cool people.
Okay,
And
yeah.
now I went back to Portugal just to visit them and help them out on the land. And yeah,
So what's
starting to
what
get there.
what what's their plan with the land? What are they gonna do with it? Are they gonna have animals, or are they gonna
No, just
have,
first we're going to make the system grow until it's an actual forest, and then we can introduce animals. But the idea is to have so we have a field of I think half a hectare that wasn't doing anything; it was just a grass field, and then we made just lines out of basically hugelculture, but so we just made lines and then put some wood there and some horse manure and then hay on top, and then we took some. A friend of mine here in Portugal, he's expert on syntropic agriculture, and so he took a um, we took a core or we gave a workshop and we invited 20 people to come here and learn about how you could increase density in on your fields in your backyard or whatever to create a system that kind of takes care of itself eventually. And so we
yeah,
planted I don't know. In that workshop, we planted 120 trees, and yeah, a lot of cover crops and whatever. And it was different from what most people have heard so far, because normally people give trees a lot of space for them to grow,
yeah,
and we put them as close as we can together. As in, we plant a fruit tree somewhere in the lines, and then 30 centimeters from it, we plant an oak tree, um, because we want different stratifications and they protect each other. And then at some point they go out of the system again, because an oak tree lives, I believe, longer than, uh, let's say, an
then
apple
apple
tree
tree.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But then everything it keeps on growing, and so you get different stratifications, and you can grow insane amounts of food in a very little space. Because
yeah,
then we have the oak in 1 square meter. We have the oak tree, the fruit tree, then we have some kind of bush, and we have kale, and we have strawberry, and we have beans to climb on top of the trees, and we have beans
yeah,
that stay on the ground, and then we have potatoes and garlic, and you all put it in 1 meter basically. And the
yeah.
idea is, well, you guys know the idea of syntropic
But
agriculture is that everything works together.
you can tell the people who maybe don't know.
Yeah, so syntropic agriculture, it's basically based on what I like to discover this whole concept further in life. Anyways, it's more based on implosion instead of explosion, where you trust that a system is built to increase in productivity and increase in efficiency um, as it keeps on going. So the system gets better and better. It doesn't take out of the system; it just produces more for the next stage of the system. And so the more you
Yeah,
plant, the better the system gets, the more productive it gets, the more biomass you get, the more nutrients there are, so the more there grows, and then there's more biomass, so it keeps getting better and better.
yeah.
And
Well, it's the biomass that produces the nutrients. So the
yeah, yeah,
nutrients don't
exactly. So
come
the
from
system
from a
provides
vacuum. They come from
exactly,
the biology in the soil. It's a
and
it- it's
this
an it's an awesome strategy if you think about, say you had like a regular orchard compared to what you guys are building over there. You maybe have 40% of the production of the orchard, which is like a
hmm
commercial operation, but you have no inputs towards the yearly production other than what it takes to keep the
Yeah,
keep
not
the
only
tree
that, you do
alive.
less work.
And you have all the other layers
Yeah,
of
so you end up
production
at
in
like
that
a
same
productivity
area.
of 1,000% or something.
Yeah, yeah, easily. But not necessarily if you compare an apple orchard's production compared to yours. But you also need to take into consideration that there's also like the potato thing and the garlic stuff and the beans and
Yeah, yeah. So all in
all
all,
that
you're
that
winning way
is
more.
missing from the apple orchard, and it all comes from the same area, so it's much more robust.
And I like the idea of that. You let nature way more just doing its thing, and everyone can basically do it in a backyard. You can grow insane amounts of
Yeah,
food.
yeah,
Um, and
and
I think that's the
it,
solution for a lot of things because the whole agriculture, like some people told me at some point, like eating only vegan doesn't necessarily make things better because you're just having like the high skill of everything is the problem. It's not necessarily what you eat; it's about how it's produced. And so if
yeah,
everyone is just in the like doing their own thing, if there's more small scale farmers, let's say, then everything kind of gets solved because you don't have to bend nature to its will to have insane amounts of grasslands and whatever just to feed some one particular species or whatever, you know.
yeah. But wouldn't it be massive, like awesome to own a massive herd of say cows or over here like maybe reindeer or something? That's just a
Uh-huh.
humongous herd that you could just run through
Yeah,
your privately owned land, like
that
thousands of
would
heads
definitely
of
be
cattle or something. And you just see them
what I
go
would
over, just watch them
yeah, what
go
I
past
would
your
really like
window
to
like
see.
2 times a
Yeah,
year
for sure.
and eat everything in their wake, and then everything
Oh yeah,
just grows back
this the
behind them.
best. As if you have a big enough land and it's um developed enough, because when you start you don't want it, right? But after 7 or 10 years of growth, then you can actually introduce the animals and you don't
No,
really have to care. They just take care of
you can
themselves.
introduce animals immediately. They're
Yeah, but it takes
vital.
more
They're
effort, right?
vital. Yeah, but they're vital to the system, and that's how you get.
Yeah, but they come. Yeah,
Like you
okay,
can't keep
but the
animals
ones
away
that are
from the
vital
land
come
for
anyways, no?
7 years. I wouldn't keep
No, but they
animals
come
away from
anyway.
the land. You mean wild
No,
animals,
that's not
or
what I'm saying. You just don't introduce them. Yes,
do you mean wild animals, or do you mean
but
like
you don't put a
cows and sheep?
no like cows and sheep. I would introduce way later. Like naturally, the smaller ones come first, anyways, and the system can manage that. But if you already put certain kind of species, if you actually put them in, they will just destroy what you're trying to build because they're just overgrazing or whatever. It also depends on how big the land is, of course, but I would
Yeah, and
say
it
just
depends
less
how you.
management for the
It,
first
it
years.
depends. It depends on how you move the stock around. You'd need to fence
Yeah,
it
exactly.
pretty
You could do
tightly.
it,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. It's just way more maintenance. It's just way more work.
It is,
And it's
but
not needed in the first years.
it is more maintenance, but it's also a huge boost to the bacteria and like the
Not necessarily, because that's what I'm saying. You can get a truck of horse manure and then use that at first. I'm not
yeah,
saying constantly. I'm just saying for the first 2 years or something, you know. Because otherwise, you have the crops are so small and the trees are so fragile that it's just gonna break. Basically, that's what I think.
yeah.
Unless you maintain it very well, you know.
Yeah,
So you're right. It's just
you're gonna need
then
a
you have
lot of
even more.
electric fencing.
Yeah, exactly.
But if everything is planted in rows, you only need to fence like the insides of like 2 rows, and there you have a lane. that you
Yeah,
could graze
true.
because they're
I
a
would
tremendous
introduce.
add to the system.
Yeah, I would introduce walking ducks first.
Or something like chickens. They dig
Yeah,
around,
but chickens
root up
scratch
old
too
bugs.
much. I would
No,
use
they
ducks.
don't. If you're growing apple trees, apples like soil that is scratched, and you don't keep anything in the same place for more than a day.
Yeah, but
Like
again,
if
you
you
have to
have
move them.
animals, you have to move them
But you
daily.
know how much work that is if you have to move them?
That's like 20 minutes. If you have 1,000 chickens, it takes 15 minutes to move 1,000 chickens.
Yeah, you know how much time that is? 15 whole
15
minutes.
minutes. 15. That's two really.
Nah,
That's
you're right.
yeah. That's
But
a
again,
cup
it
of
also depends on
coffee
how
and
big
a
it is.
and a good dump in the morning. That's 15 minutes.
Do you have any use for machinery or bots or anything? Like I'm thinking about drones, I'm thinking about tractors whenever you're making those hugel mounds.
No. Well, you could, and again, it depends on how big it is, I guess. Like if I would have hectares, and that's my goal eventually. Like right now, we're just doing it small, right? So half a hectare.
Mm.
We just did everything by hand, and it's a lot of work, but it's also nice because you're physically just outside and you're making your body work. So it's all good. It just wouldn't be complete shit if that would be 10 hectares, right? But
Is
half a
that your
hectare
zone?
with 20 people did a lot.
Is that your zone 1, the half hectare, or are you going to rotate out of that?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say they're thinking here in zones. I would.
Do you know the concept?
Um,
It's a permaculture
It's
thing.
radial.
yeah, yeah. Zone one would be like the where you're
The
every day,
closest one.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No, this is more like a what is it? The zone two or three, I think, where you just let it grow basically, and
Oh,
then
zone
you
5, I
come.
think.
Maybe you go there. No, because you still it's not you don't let it be complete raw nature. Um, I would say two or three because you come there every week or something, or whenever you want, basically. So we set up
Yeah.
the lines, and then now it just grows, and we'll see. Because most of the trees just need a lot of time, anyways. And we just put the cover crops there because we like it, and then mostly just improve the soil. But they also happen to make beans at some point. So yeah, what is that?
Mm.
Two or three? Three, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Maybe two.
But it's kind of everything's mixed, man. Because we also close to the house, we planted about 1,300 beans, and I don't know, it's just next to the house, but we don't do anything for a month, and then it's just at some point there are beans, right?
Yeah.
We don't do a lot.
That's most of the
That's
farming.
my
You
point. If
just
I'm going to do
you
this,
just plant the seeds and they grow up by themselves. That's like
And then here
people
and
don't
then
soon
we,
realize.
yeah, exactly.
you're going to have infestations, and you're going to watch and see what comes in to mitigate that infestation. It's going to be really interesting. I mean,
Yeah, you're
if you
gonna get
haven't seen
Yeah, for sure.
all
this
kinds of
type
bugs and stuff.
of climate yet. So are
The
you
cool thing
setting up
is,
any sorts of nests,
we are. What do you mean
like
for the
like
plants or for
little
the?
boxes for things to inhabit, like a drifting swarm of bees maybe, or like birdhouses?
Oh, I
Like
mean, we
what if
could.
you put a bunch of
We haven't done that.
scarecrow type shelves that, you know, like you went around and planted trees, right? But maybe you don't want the birds to sit on the trees
No.
yet, so you create that second layer. So do you have any like structures inside
Yeah.
of, because everywhere where you put that layer, then they're going to deposit their shit, you know? Do y'all have what sort of invasive species do y'all have around there? Do they grow by root, or are they only spreading by seed?
Roots mostly, I think.
Cool.
So it's okay to attract birds to
I'm.
bring extra.
You
I
guys
think
still hear
you're
me?
asking. Yeah, yeah, we hear you. I think Davin is asking because
Okay. Internet
if
dropped.
you have an invasive species that is spreading through seeds, then there's a risk if you invite
Mm-hmm.
wild birds to shit on your tree lane that they're gonna bring in the invasive species
Yeah.
with their manure.
No,
But
that
if
doesn't
that's
really
not the
happen here.
case,
It's
then
mostly
then
roots.
it's just extra fertility if you manage to attract
Yeah,
like
you're right.
doves or
Pretty good
any
idea.
wild fauna. They're gonna sit around your seedlings and just hang around, look for
Yeah,
bugs, and
true.
take regular
But when I
craps
when I when I watch
for
the
free.
field, there are already a lot of birds, and
Yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
see how it goes.
And
But it's actually a pretty
if
good
you
view.
put
That's some.
if you put a porch that for them, the most simple thing is like imagine like a clothesline, but a long one where you have posts
Yeah, yeah.
in between. Do something like that where they can sit high
Where they sit
enough
on it.
from the ground that they're not afraid of ground predators and snakes and stuff. And they'll
Yeah,
hang
so they
around
chill
there.
there.
Yeah, they just chill out there for the entire day.
It's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah,
And
crapping on your trees for free. And if you're gonna grow berries, what you should do is like say if you want to grow strawberries there, you're gonna
uh-huh.
have to take round rocks that are approximately strawberry sized, and you paint them red and put a green dot on the end and make it look like a strawberry. And in the
Mm-hmm.
spring already, when most of the stuff on the ground is dead, you go around and you place these rock strawberries everywhere, and all the birds that hang around your area, everybody gets really excited because they see strawberries, and everybody tries to come and eat them, and they're stoned, so they get really disappointed. But what they learn for that season is that your strawberries fucking suck, so
Is
they
it?
won't come and eat your
Does that actually
strawberries.
work?
Yeah, yeah, it works. You don't need to put any netting or anything, but you need to have quite a
So
lot of
funny.
stony strawberries. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
but so you're
absolutely
saying that,
works.
and I would actually just say let them eat the fucking strawberries.
Yeah, but you wanna have some strawberries.
Yeah, but you're gonna
There's
plant
other
so many, it doesn't really
other
matter. You know?
there's other critters that are gonna eat the strawberries as well. So
Not if
it's
they're healthy
perfectly fine.
enough.
Of course, man. Who doesn't like
No, bro. If the
strawberries?
strawberries are, if the plants are healthy enough, well, at least insects won't eat them then. Birds will, but most insects won't touch it until it's not healthy enough, and then they will just eat it. I've seen
Yeah,
this, man.
but a wasp eats a strawberry
Yeah, sure,
if it
but
wants
then
to.
also, what I learned from Daniel, the friend of mine, is you just make everything in such abundance that it doesn't matter at all what eats what. You just have it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
and
I like it's a
strawberries as an
cool.
example is good because it makes runners. It's so easy to propagate strawberries.
Yeah, but
Like you're never
and
gonna run
yeah,
out
and
if you
everything
want.
grows anyways. So we just harvested sweet potatoes, and they're insanely big. And then we saw a few sweet potatoes that were completely eaten by mice, and we just got happy because yeah, we have mice. That's cool.
Mm.
And
Do you
we
have
had so
anything
many.
like
We
do you
had
have
so
anything
many.
like hawks or owls?
Yeah, we already like right away thinking how to get rid of the mice, but the mice is pretty
No,
cool.
no, I'm thinking about
Eventually, they will
top
come. I
tier
don't think they're here now.
predators.
I
Top
haven't
tier
heard them yet.
predators.
I've
Yeah.
seen a few fly, like not owls, but predator birds. Don't know which ones, but I've seen a few fly. Um, but yeah, so they're here, but I don't think there's enough um, like habitation for them to live there. I don't think the trees are big enough for that. But oh, there's someone else. And dude, this is the first time in StreamYard that they don't that my avatar is not on screen. It's so weird.
I think you
Yeah,
had
it
an
is.
option in the very beginning to come
No.
on as.
Okay, I'll try again. Wait.
Yeah, yeah. You can hop out and hop back in.
Pulse Chain Bros, you're in audio only. What's going on?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing about the avatar. I didn't know I was in the show until he said that. What up?
What up?
Hey,
What up?
man.
We're asking Markable, all the questions that we've had piling up because we haven't seen much of his property. He showed us some videos or
Yeah.
some pictures and explanation of like the size of it and everything. So it didn't work out, huh, Markable?
Huh. That's weird. Okay. Well, guess I'll be the
Voice
invisible
in our
voice.
heads. Yeah. Just don't give any instructions. We're good.
Yeah.
So let's see. Somebody's asking about squirrels. D Marino wants to know how to get rid of squirrels in general. I believe that squirrels cannot go backwards. So maybe you could set up a trap if you're okay with them starving to death. I'm not really sure how to make it to where like squirrels stop coming around, except to clean up all the access points where they get shelter. And then you could probably introduce types of predators. Something that I've been trying to do is to imagine what are all these things that drones could do for us, and what are all these things that animals could do for us. And so my latest ideas are to set things out like nuts out for squirrels to bury themselves. And so the squirrels could do the work, distribute that stuff. What do you guys think about that? What do y'all think about Marino's question?
I don't know if you
I
wanted
would
to.
like to
Maybe
know
he was
why this is
ripping
made
on
of
Red
food.
Squirrel.
Yeah. How do we get rid of red squirrels?
We never get rid of Red Squirrel.
Marino, why do you want to get rid of the squirrels?
It's probably because they're pests. There are pests in my area.
There were.
Yeah. But
yeah,
they'll eat away the trim and make their way into your attic.
Yeah, that's kind of shit.
And then migrate, maybe even live next to the engine of your car.
Oh yeah, chipmunk. I get a bunch of chipmunks. Yeah, those will mess with your car.
What you need to do, you've probably seen the squirrel catapult on YouTube. This dude built a
from Mark Rober, I think. No,
he built a really complex thing where it took a long
that's
time
not how you
for
get
the
rid of
squirrel
them.
to get comfortable, to get in.
That's how you keep them.
Go into the cup to get the treat, and then once it was in the cup, the catapult just freaking slinged it like tens of meters. Whee!
I'd suggest get a cat or a dog or something. My cat always scares the shit out of all the
or plastic
chipmunks.
toy snakes. Buy a few, like depending on where you live and what the situation is. But let's say you have a balcony where you don't want squirrels to come to. Buy a couple of toy plastic snakes, like kids' toy snakes, and place them in strategic areas.
I think we want to get less plastic, but yeah, snake.
Less plastic, less
snake.
rubber.
That's fine, but I'm not gonna fucking whittle a snake. The Chinese have made like a float the size of Texas out of plastic snakes. It already exists, so if we get a few here to keep the squirrels out, it's fine, Markable. We got bigger shit to concentrate on than a bit of plastic.
Yeah, people are figuring out how to crack Chipotle. Supposedly you can order just one taco and then get an extra soft tortilla off to the side, and then all the sides just say add on, and they put them all in different to-go plastic things. So people are running away with the plastic problem.
It's so
Wait, what?
like some of the solutions are so stupid.
That was
Like
that
no
was
plastic, no plastic straws. So then you have a paper straw that's still in a plastic, small plastic bag that's glued in your paper, carton that has a plastic liner inside, so that it's not even recyclable.
Uh-huh.
and those things you have to use them within like 20 minutes, otherwise they start to fall apart.
Yeah, yeah, and everything tastes like cardboard. Doesn't matter if you start
Don't you love
sipping away
cardboard?
immediately.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, with Hexo's story being in like the military or whatever, they just throw the garbage out into the ocean anyway.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
You're
Nice.
yeah,
doing you're doing your part with a plastic straw, and then
yeah.
they're
Then
just
there's like,
sending cities of garbage out into the ocean.
yeah, it's completely like 90% of all the plastic trash in the world comes from 7 rivers, and most of them are African or Chinese. So nothing we do matters anyway. If you just take into consideration the raw numbers, the sheer amount of plastic shit coming from China's rivers, anything we do over here in Europe is just like
Yeah,
a
but
drop in a bucket.
I've heard of there's some guy that's like making a machine that has like some spinning thing that can go through these garbage ocean cities and actually turn it into like plastic blocks or something for like building material. Like so
Yeah,
there's people attempting to clean it up, but yeah, it's beyond the individual.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'd say everything's actually correct. Of course, there's India as well. You can't
And there's
disregard
Finbear.
India.
Don't forget Finbear.
That
He's one
that's
of the
like
biggest.
our family's diapers alone. They must have killed like a couple of the. We have all kinds of furry and
that's
lovely animals.
that's how you get rid of the
Almost,
squirrels.
yeah, shitty diapers everywhere.
So, some Finbear diapers. Put it on your balcony
Yeah, they'll
and the
the
squirrels just go
squirrels
away.
get them.
So I am wondering, are you having like ground squirrels inside or chipmunks inside of your hugel culture? Have they burrowed into that?
Into mine,
Oh, both of you, I guess, but I'm
not into mine.
yeah, Markable.
No, ours are too like made them a few weeks ago, so it's
Okay.
nothing yet. But a lot, dude. There's a lot of fungi and insects, and we saw a mouse already, and we saw some big what are they called? Oh, worms.
Yeah,
So and the field used to be like complete death. So it's pretty quick already that stuff comes back.
yeah,
And it's really
yeah, it is,
it's really
and it's
cool.
awesome if the Hugel mount is like a long structure. They use it like as
Uh
a
huh.
it's like a motorway for bugs to get
Yeah, it's really cool.
across the field.
And the way Daniel told us to put the wood down is really to lay them in a line, as in that the broken ends kind of almost touch each other. And the way I saw that is mostly as like the wood kind of functions as a big battery, I would say. And I don't know, it just reminded me of how I don't know what it's called, neurons, or how two things can communicate with each other without touching each other, like in the brain. I don't know what the words are for it, but you know what we
Synapses,
synapses. Yes.
synapses,
Yeah,
brain
Oh,
yeah,
synapses.
synapses. Yeah, it's pretty cool to think about it like that.
yeah.
It made me
Well,
think of it.
uh, fungus has been proven to have a system of communication that it uses internally to know
Yeah,
where
it's really
to
cool.
where to where to move what type of a nutrient and in what kind of a quantity, and you can there's this scientist, I forget his name, Paul Stamets spoke about him in one of his talks, and he showed pictures where you could actually see you could see the message being transported within the fungal the
Yeah,
hyphae.
it looks
It
like a
was
brain.
freaking
It looks
awesome.
like the universe, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah. So
fun. It's
fungus and a human might only separate in the sense that us humans and like uh, and mammals and we have our stomachs on the inside and our brain is on the inside of our body.
Hmm.
But the
Yeah.
way a fungus works is fungus has the stomach on the outside of the body, and sort of the fungus itself is or could be what we understand to be like brains. And if you have a big enough fungal network, who's to say that there isn't some kind of a basic understanding within the network that they exist, for instance?
If I didn't have arms and legs, I would also have a stomach around my brain, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
that's
but
how you.
it's not on the outside of your body like it is with the fungus.
Yeah.
Everything that the fungus does in terms of like consumption happens on the tip of the tip that it uses to further go into the material that it faces as
just the
the
tip.
fungal network continues to grow. And that's where the actions that we have in our stomach, fungus has it happening on the growing tips of the hypha.
Hey, Markable, did you have good
Hello.
luck in whenever it was that you were placing the hugel mounds down or the swales? Like maybe you had swells that didn't have wood inside of them, and so we would just call those swells instead of hugels. Um, did you have moisture falling from the sky? Did you have precipitation whenever you were placing all this stuff down to aid in the growth of the fungi later on? Or was it pretty dry in the beginning and you've had some rains, or maybe you grabbed some water out of the creek or something?
No, it was completely dry. So we didn't make any swales because we knew the so the where we are located, the winter is very wet and moist, and then the summer is very hot and dry. So the only thing we had to do is actually make sure that it gets stored somewhere. And so we only made like the hugel beds, and we made them from north to south, and it wasn't on contours. It was just going down basically because we didn't necessarily need to store more water. It just had to be absorbed better. And so we started when it was very dry. So we did 3 of the 7 lines we did a few months back already. 3 months back, and then it was very dry, and we actually had to bring in a machine to open the earth up a little bit to put the wood there, because she just couldn't get into it with a shovel or an enchilada. And yeah, so then it was very dry, and 2 months later, after we put everything up, it was very moist because it had rained like one night or 2 nights, and just the water stayed there. Everything else was dry as shit. And then we had the wait one second.
Yeah, I wonder if he's had a rain event to where he can actually see his swales fill up. That'd be cool.
Say that again. What?
I wonder if you had a rain event where you could actually see the standing water.
So that actually happened last week. So we had a lot of rain. As winter is coming, and we saw that the the water gets. We already saw one water source from the ground. It just came up, but it might have also just been there always because it really gets very wet in winter. But between the beds, I saw water collecting, and we were already thinking, okay, so if we're further in winter, that could actually we could uh, guide that into becoming a pond between the lines to just create even more water retention. And yeah, we definitely saw already improvement in how the land acts because there's structure now. It's really cool to see.
Awesome.
How deep is the ground before you hit like bedrock?
Oh, I have no idea, man.
But it
I
has
don't.
dirt like a lot. Have you done any? Have you done any testing
No, it's not. It's not
like
my land, man.
dropping?
I just helped with what they wanted to do, and I had some ideas and some connections for them, so I helped them out. But it's not my land, so haven't really done that kind of research. But I am looking for land, and once I have it, I will definitely do that stuff as well. Yeah.
Are you looking for land over there locally?
Yeah. Anywhere, dude. um.
And then
So
also
I would kind
have
of.
this piece of property that you're on right now, is it, I'm not wanting to like identify where it is, but I'm wondering,
Uh-huh.
did did they link did they put out like wolf links, or are they advertising
No.
that this is a place for people to come?
No, not at all. I just met these guys on at a market, just very
Oh,
randomly. But what I've come to learn is that it's not random at all. So I met these people, and then the values were just very much aligned. So now I'm just here. They don't really necessarily. Uh, well, they're thinking about it, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. They're very into the building phase. They can't necessarily sustain more people than just me extra, let's say. And that's only because I have just my own van and I just live in there, and yeah, quite self-sustaining in that.
what were you going to tell us about your land search?
Oh yeah, it's just we'll see. Land is coming, but we'll see where and how big and whatever. I'm definitely thinking not to go too big. I first want to learn a lot in practice, but eventually I would like to have like more than 10 hectares or something to do some real uh, big stuff. I think, but
Oh, for
first
sure.
I just want to learn first because you're not going to use the 10 hectares first anyways. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I don't really force these things. Most of the time, it just comes to me at some point when it needs to be there. So
Do you and your brother have more podcast like videos planned?
mm, not entirely sure because the crypto stuff, most of the we just wanted to have something out for the people that constantly kept asking us, and we just mentioned it in real life. And we started like our reflexes because we're both sort of online marketeers. Our reflexes were like, okay, we do this and this and this and this, and we set everything up. And then I was like, I don't really want to do this stuff. So I think I'll just, because I have courses out there on my own website now about crypto, and I just send people there nowadays. But I don't necessarily want more crypto attention, basically. I might make more stuff about the whole syntropic agriculture stuff and just share what I'm learning, because I find that way more important than crypto, I think. So I might actually do that, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, and we'll be here once the initial phase passes through. It might take a couple of years, but don't think you're the only one who came across agriculture and why
Uh
it
huh.
is so important. So I understand if it takes a couple of years for you to really get into it and like get tired enough that you want to come back and hang out with us again.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. It's just a
but
whole new,
that's a rabbit hole that sucks you in
for
once you
sure.
get into it and start understanding the patterns and the way we can affect them. But
I
I
did
would
the whole.
suggest I would suggest you also look into permaculture because it has many tools that work.
Yeah. Syntropic is
And
just a part of permaculture, I guess.
yeah, or I think it's more like a sort of a separate thing. But I'm not dissing it. But
Yeah,
all I'm saying is not everything in permaculture is something that I want to have on my land.
no, yeah,
I
for
have
sure. It's
no
all
I have no need for weed spirals anywhere, and 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 if I'm gonna start farming, it's gonna be like rows big enough that you can actually fit a tractor in there because I want to
uh-huh.
make some fucking money if I'm gonna do it. Even if it's homesteading, it's gonna be in a big
Yeah,
enough
that's
scale
fine.
to be like it doesn't have to be like a vow of poverty. If you want to get into farming, you can make a good living out of it and
Yeah, for
still
sure.
have,
I would just hope
like
that we do it in a way that nature as well can thrive. And
yeah,
I really
for
think
sure.
you can combine it. Right now we've
That's what
mostly
we're all about here.
yeah, exactly.
That's like the thing that like Davin and I have
That's why
shared
I'm here.
said from the beginning. Yeah.
Energy is not destroyed.
No,
Exactly.
no, it only changes shape.
Cool. We've been going for about an hour. Does anybody have any wrap up conversation, or let's just exit?
I actually have to hop out, so I'm fine with the outro.
Do we have an outro?
Oh yeah, we have an outro. Check this out, man. You say it, Beard.
Outro.
Thank you.